AI has taken over the world. It influences our tools at work, home, and even how we talk to our pets.
And yeah, while it seems like every company is pushing AI on us nowadays, there's a reason. And the reason? It's really powerful.
Generative AI revolutionized the modern-day world, and with any big tech revolution comes major opportunities to build new products and services. And while a lot has happened already, there are still so many products and services yet to be built that could bring in additional income for the person willing to build them.
So in this video, we're going to walk through 3 AI products that have yet to be dominated by a big player in the space. And it's important to note, there will be competitors, but the key here is that there is no true market leader for each of these products. That means with the right execution, you could become the market leader for each of these product areas. And as a bonus, I'll share my framework that I use to generate additional AI ideas, so be sure to stick around to the end for that. All right, let's get into it.
Idea number 1, a unified AI API for developers. We've got plenty of AI models to choose from these days: ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, Vertex, and the list goes on and on. If you're a developer tasked with integrating AI into your app, it can be quite the complex process if you need multiple LLMs. It's also quite expensive to pay for a subscription for each LLM. It would be great if I could instead use a single API endpoint that connects all the LLMs for me under the hood. That way, I only need to pay for one provider and really simplify my code base.
So if we needed a new feature for image generation, I could easily just ask for DALL-E or Midjourney through my unified API client. Or maybe song generation. So instead of creating a new Udio account, I just instruct my API client to use Udio under the hood, and I'm done. As a developer, this sounds pretty awesome. Now let's break this down into the jobs to be done framework so we can get a sense of what we need to build and how we can build it.
Remember, people buy products and services to get a job done. So that's what we want to outline. What are the jobs that our developers want done with our unified API service? Integrate multiple LLMs without complex code setup. Integrate more AI features without paying for multiple LLM providers. Using multiple LLMs without needing to learn the unique developer setup for each. With these jobs in mind, we can envision building a simple NPM package that developers can download and configure to give them access to all the possible LLMs in the market. Now let's take a look at an architecture diagram to see how we could build this. We could create a backend Node.js service at the core, integrate each LLM into the backend service, create an abstraction layer within the Node.js backend to act as the unifier of each LLM, expose the abstract layer as a GraphQL endpoint or REST endpoint to end users. And finally, we can create an SDK for each of the popular ways that they might consume this unified API. This would be things such as JavaScript and TypeScript, Python, Java, or just straight up curl. A business model for this idea could be a cost per token or a cost per API call, where you offset the cost of the underlying LLM by a certain percentage so that you can make a small profit per API call. Idea number 2, a multi-domain AI email assistant. The goal with this business is to make email efficient across multiple email accounts. I think it's fair to say most people have more than one email address, and unless you're really on top of your game, your inbox can quickly turn into the Wild West. AI would be the perfect assistant to integrate into my accounts and summarize my daily emails, giving me a one-page summary with action items for the day. For this idea, our jobs to be done may look like this. Quickly understand what's in my emails for the day, create my action items for the day, reply to my important emails in a timely manner. Technical architecture for this idea could look like this, where again we have a Node.js backend at the core. We can then have API integrations with each email provider like Gmail and Outlook. We could use Next.js as a UI to OAuth with email providers and generate daily reports. We would then provide an integration with OpenAI or a similar LLM within our backend service, a specific backend controller to pull emails from each provider, format them into OpenAI prompts, and then ask the LLM to summarize the day and create action items. We can then send that report to the Next.js UI to be viewed by the user. And lastly, a small feature we could add into the report would be providing links to the proper email threads so that they can easily reply when needed. For this idea, we could use a freemium business model, which would allow users to try out the service without paying. Paid tiers would then be added to unlock more functionality or to have more email accounts connected together. Idea number 3, domain-specific AI search platform. While LLMs are great for generic knowledge retrieval, if a company has domain-specific knowledge, such as an engineering wiki or financial reports archive, an LLM has no way to understand that data source, rendering it useless for questions like, what is our engineering process like at the company? Or give me a summary of our July 2023 financial report. And while a standalone LLM can't help us here, we could use a RAG, a retrieval augmented generation, to level up the basic LLM and be able to understand domain-specific knowledge. Again, we can outline our jobs to be done for the users of this idea. They would be quickly find relevant domain-specific documentation, create new reports based on historical company data, get questions answered that depend on domain-specific information. Our architecture for this idea is a bit more complex, so let's dive into it. We could start again with a Node.js server to integrate our LLMs of choice, such as OpenAI. We'd then initialize a vector database for each company that signs up for the platform. We need a way for companies to be able to upload their own data to the vector database. Within the endpoint, our controller would first query the team's vector database for relevant data using a similarity search based on the user's prompt. The queried data would then be embedded into the OpenAI prompt, which would instruct the LLM to answer the question based on the provided documents. Finally, the data would be sent back to the UI for the user to review. We'd then have a Next.js UI to allow employees to sign into their company and a form page to send questions to our backend service. And you can think of this idea being built as a generic platform, which means it could be white labeled, allowing companies to provide their own branding and colors to the front end to make it feel like an internal company product. A possible business model for this idea would be subscription per user per team, such as $20 per user per team.
Okay, so we dove into 3 different AI-powered business ideas here, but I wanted to leave you with a general framework you can use to generate additional ideas for other markets.
AI is powerful, but it's not a solution for everything. The best integrations focus on speeding up and automating otherwise mundane tasks while not trying to do things that are more creative or require critical thinking or problem-solving skills. Also, look at more underserved markets and niche down using RAGs to create more domain-specific responses. For example, there may be a generic AI travel planner, but imagine using a RAG to collect domain-specific data about all the various things to do/visit in New York City, so it becomes an AI travel planner for New York City tourists.
By niching down, focusing on automation, and using RAGs for more targeted AI responses, you can provide more value with your ideas and really start to carve out your own market segment. Until next time, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more and click the little bell to be notified about my next video.